Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to Dockerize and run .NET 8 Web API in just 10 minutes. So let's start. So prerequisite is you should have Docker running in your machine. You can go with two ways. Either you can install Docker Desktop, and once it is installed, you can start that, and then here in the process you should see Docker should be up and running. And after that, when you will move to a PowerShell terminal window, and when you will run Docker, so it should recognize that command. You should not get Docker is not recognized. This is a one way. Another way is you can enable the WSL in your machine, and then you can install any subsystems. I did in the same way. I can show you like WSL list, and here I am having this Ubuntu installed, and that is my default system. And under that, let me run Docker command. So let me open this, and here if I will run Docker, so you can see that it is giving me all the available commands for the Dockers. So Docker is working in my machine. Make sure it is working in your machine as well. Then move to any of your Visual Studio, .NET Core, Web API application. I am having the simple employee controllers, and it is having that CRUD operations for employee with this static list. And this application I'm going to Dockerize. So with Visual Studio, it is very easy. Just go to Solution Explorer, and here right click, go to option add here, and here you can see that Docker support. We are already having option in the Visual Studio, and once I will select this, it will ask for the target OS. So I'm going to keep Linux here, and when I will click on OK, then it will create two files. You can see this Docker file and Docker ignore file is getting created. And without modifying this file, because all the steps is already defined by the Visual Studio, so I am going to use same Docker file, and I will create a Docker image, and then I will run the container on top of it. So now to create an image from this Docker file, step one is to let's move to root of this project. So maybe this is a root where we are having this solution file, right? So let's move here in your, if you are using Docker desktop, so you can use PowerShell terminal, and navigate to this path. If you are using WSL similar to me and using Ubuntu, then also you can move to this place. You can see that I am at hello docker simple test. Let me list out all the items here so you can see the solution file is there, right? So here we can run docker command to build image from the docker file what we generated recently. So let me write the command docker build. Then I'm giving some tag, and make sure you are giving small letters for tag, because the Docker does not allow tag with the capital letters. So maybe I will say hello Docker, and then we can define the file. So file we are having, if you will see here, we are having a file under it, the Docker file. So maybe I will say, let me copy this. So file I will say like Docker file, and then give you can give that dot to define the context here. So it is a context, and now uh, we can run it. So we can see that it started building our images. It's downloading our base image and other stuffs. And yeah, so now we have successfully created our Docker image from the Docker file what we generated through Visual Studio. Let me show this with the Docker image command. Sorry, Docker images. So here we can see that this is a new Docker image, hello Docker we created. And now let me show you, I don't have any container as of now. Yeah, you can see that I don't have any controller. Now we are going to create a container from this image. So for that I'm going to run docker run, and then we can define the name for our container. So maybe I will say same again, hello docker. Then uh, we need to define one environment variable also, and let me tell the reason behind it. Because if you will see our program.cs file, so we have defined one condition: if environment is development, then only we are going to show Swagger. And to demonstrate this, I want to run our Docker as a developer environment. So let me define the environment as well. So I will say ASP.NET core underscore environment, and I will say it as a development. Now also, if you will observe here, we are going to expose port 8080 and 8081. So, and from container also I want to expose some port, right? So I need to define that as well. So let me define the port here. So I will say 8080 for internal and for external and for internal as well. And same for 8081 internal and external as well. I missed to add port here. And now we can give the name, like which image we are going to use to create this container, right? So our image name is hello docker. So let me give this as a hello docker, and let's run it. Mm, I think I need to give name with this way. So let me try with this. Yeah, it's looking like this is the correct command. And we can see my container is running, and even we can see the logs, like it is listening on port 8080, and even environment is also development. So now let me go back to browser, and here I am going to try 8080 Swagger, then index.html, and let me hit enter. So great, I am going to see same Swagger page with the Docker as well, with the Docker container as well. Let me try it out and see the result as well. So I'm getting the response as well. And now let's verify. Let me try to stop my container. So I'm going to stop it. And now if I will try to refresh this, I should not able to see this because our container is stopped. Let me. So as we have stopped our container, now again if I want to run it, so how can I go ahead with this? Uh, so let me list out my container and I will run command docker ps, and this will not give me my container name because this docker ps command only lists the container which is list out the container which are running. So I should not see any container here. And if I want to see a stop container, then I should add a here. Then here I can see my stopped container. Now, if I want to start it again, so I just need to say docker start, and then here you can see this ID, right? 045 and so on. So I can take only first three characters from this ID 045, and if I will hit enter, so it should start my container again. So now if I will come back and refresh this page, so I'm seeing my Swagger page is still running. And similar way I can even stop my container again. Let me say stop 045, and now if I will refresh, it will again uh, say refuse to connect. And I prefer to run Docker through this command lines, but if you don't prefer to if you don't want to write these commands, or if you don't like this, then there's an easy way we have in the Visual Studio. When you will create this Docker file, then you will see another option here which is created for you, that is saying Docker. And if you will select this Docker, and as I don't have a Docker desktop in my machine, if you have Docker desktop installed and if that is running, then if you just need to run this through Visual Studio and it should run. It will create your image, it will create your container, and you can run it without any command as well. That job is getting done through Visual Studio. So, quick recap. So today we discussed initially we discussed the prerequisite for Docker. The Docker desktop is needed, or WSL, and any Linux subsystem you can install in your machine, and you can continue with that. And to generate a Docker file, we are having an option under the Visual Studio itself when you will go to add, and then when you will add the container support, and it will ask for the operating system, and then it will generate this two file, Docker file and Docker ignore files. And after that, when we move to the root of our solution file, and then we executed command to create our first Docker image, that is Docker build, and then we have defined the tag for that, and then we have defined the file path, that file which comes under our solution folder, which is nothing but in this case it was hello docker simple test, and under that we were having docker file, and then we define the context which was the same as the root, so we just added one dot there. And when we executed that command, it created our docker image, and we can verify the images through docker images command. After that, we executed docker run command to create a container. So we executed command like docker run, and then uh, we have given the name here for the our container, and then we have defined the environment variable as well, like uh, and reason behind that, because we want to define ASP.NET Core environment as a development environment to show our Swagger UI. And after that, we have defined the port what we want to expose, and then we defined our uh, Docker image name, and finally we were able to see the output in the browser. And the commands, apart from that, we use like Docker ps command, which list out the all the running containers. Then Docker ps-a command list out all the running plus as well as stopped container. And in the last we saw to use a Visual Studio to create your Docker image and create a container without writing any command. So that's all for this video. I hope if you like this video, please share your feedback, and if you have not subscribed it yet, please subscribe and hit a like button. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Thank you.